No. We would never do that, Miles. Don't threaten that. I said we would never do that. Don't threaten that. Y'all ready? Okay. Good morning. We will call this meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was properly posted on May 7th, 2024. I believe it is District 2 is in charge of our prayer and pledge of allegiance.
It is. So if you don't mind, I will go ahead and say a prayer and then we will stand for the pledge. Father God, we come to you today so humble and so grateful for the opportunity to come together, to serve our community, and to live out your will. I pray that you be with us today, guide our paths, guide our thoughts, and guide our decisions. We love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 1, approval of our minutes from May 1st.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And our reoccurring items, item number 2 are blanket purchase orders.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 3 are claims.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then items 4 through 9 are consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I believe we do have a request from our planning department to skip ahead to items 16, 17, and 18. I believe that is correct. You would like to do 17 first.
Yes, I would like to
Okay.
do 17 and 18 and 19.
Okay.
17 is a contract for a REAP grant. This is just to sign that contract for some work that District 1 wants to do off of Wilshire Boulevard between Indian Meridian and Triple X. So it's just to get the Board of County Commissioners to sign that contract for us to proceed.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
If there are no questions or discussions, I will move the item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 18 is another REAP grant. This is for District 3. This is for some work that is going to occur in the town of Arcadia. They want to help Arcadia with the mill and overlay of Danforth between Westminster and Division Street. This is the main street that comes in from the north side of Arcadia. So again, this is just to sign a contract to move forward with that grant.
Desperately needed. I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And 19 is also a REAP grant. It is for District 3. This is to assist the town of Luther. They want to acquire a high pressure jetter for their sewage treatment plant. And so we're going to assist them with that.
This is also much needed by the town of Luther. This will assist them greatly with their issues with their sewage. So, motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
And then item 16 is the item that was in front of the Planning Commission on April 18th. This is a piece of property that is located off of Northwest 220th Meridian on the southwest corner of that intersection. The subject property, as far as what they're wanting to rezone with a planned unit development, consists of 210 acres. Just to get a little bit more history on this particular piece of property, there was an application that was submitted back in 2022 uh, in the same area. Now that application, what is different from today, was just the corner itself, which they wanted to do commercial. At that time, it was commercial general, which is our most intensive commercial, consisted of 18 acres. And at that particular time, the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners unanimously decided to deny that particular application. Moving forward to today, the application is in front of you is a PUD. So they have a design statement that they submitted to us, and it has various components. It's broken up into 3 tracks. Track 1 is on the far west side, which is off of MacArthur. They want to do R2 there, which consists of 2-acre lots. They're going to have 4 tracks, and that total acreage there is 11 acres in that particular tract that's part of this PUD. Track 2, which is the main part of this PUD, is going from that point as you go back to the east towards Meridian and you go north towards 220th. That is going to consist of 180 acres. They want to do what we would call R0 type of zoning, but basically it's less than an acre. Most of those lots are going to be half acre in size, a little bit larger. They're going to utilize Deer Creek water and individual aerobic type of systems as far as sewage treatment. Then the last tract of this PUD is tract 3, which is on the hard corner. It is going to be categorized as CL, which is one of our less intensive. So they've come back on the intensity as far as the commercial. And that's on the hard corner there as you come south and west of that intersection of 220th and Meridian. They're going to have various low intensity commercial uses. I can go over those if you like, but typically those are going to be your dentist office, dry cleaners, kennels, veterinarians, kind of your lower end eating establishments, medical services, banks. Those are kind of some of the examples that you could put there. There was quite a bit of protest on this particular item. There was unanimous, significant protest, excuse me, on the north side of this particular project. So the Planning Commission unanimously decided to vote against the proposal with unanimous protest that is to the north. The Board of County Commissioners would have to vote unanimously to either approve or to deny this particular applications. That's all the information I had. I have another meeting I have to go to. So if you have any questions of me before I leave, I know the applicant is here to speak. I know there are some citizens that live out there that would like to speak as well.
We do have a few citizens signed up to speak, but I think it's appropriate to let the applicant speak as well. Thank you, Eric.
Good morning, David BOCC, 522 Colcord Drive, here on behalf of the applicant. So it is important to note when we started, we had originally proposed to have public sewer to this. There is public sewer to the development to the east. And so when we first thought through this, we had 524 lots because at that time with public sewer, we were looking to do a traditional 6,000 square foot lot that you would see when you have public sewer. It became clear after visiting with Oklahoma City that public sewer was not an option. So we went from 524 lots to now we are at 186 lots. And as Eric said, we've broken this into 3 separate tracts. All the way to the west, we have a tract where we have a minimum of 2-acre lot size. The balance of it is a half-acre minimum. Of course, some will be bigger depending on how the street network lays out. And then the commercial in the far northeast. So the commercial is really limited. If you look at the PUD, it's intended to be low-intensity commercial uses that really serve a smaller kind of neighborhood service area rather than some form of a regional drawl. So we think it would be low impact commercial that would serve the community around it. This site also has a fairly significant amount of common area you can see that we have respected throughout. And so what that really means is our density comes to a calculation of about 1.2 acres per lot. You might remember a case came before you about a month ago in the county where we had a similar situation with significant open space. And so our density ended up being something north of 1 acre per lot. And we're not different than that in this regard. So we believe that this product is something desirable by many and something that will serve the community. And the commercial, we believe, will bring an increase in ad valorem tax base. I know at Planning Commission, the school superintendent, although he didn't like the whole project, he did say very vocally that the commercial was the one piece of it he liked. The neighbors, not so much, but we do think that having commercial out there is important for the school district, and we think it will be used by the local community. Happy to answer any questions. We have the civil engineers here as well.
So the big thing to me that I've worked pretty extensively with them on this project, and I've worked with Jason Perez and Deer Creek Schools and so on and so forth. The types of homes that they're building, the average lot size being 1.2 acres. I've explained to Superintendent Perez and spoke to a large group of about 40 plus people that live in Deer Creek last week. We have to do responsible development in this area, because if we do not, Oklahoma City will come in and we will have more and more housing, the types of housing that they're pushing the hardest against. So that would be, apartment complexes. That'll be types of things that aren't necessarily right for this area. So because of that, I thought that these are the types of things that we're going to need to start doing, because the annexation, the Oklahoma City would love to come in and annex these things, and they've done it in the past, just to the south and east on a project. So I've stressed to Deer Creek and everybody, if you guys want to stay unincorporated, we've got to start doing these types of things, or developers are going to go to the city and just say, annex us and let's move forward. So that's where we're at with this. And if there's anybody that, if you have anything else, Mr. Box, or developers, or if there's any neighbors to speak, it now would probably be, who do we have?
We have Mr. Gary Harris signed up, and Camille, I don't want to pronounce your last name incorrectly. Majuli. Okay, Camille, why don't you come up and speak? Majuli.
So thank you for listening to my concerns today. My name is Camille Majuli, and I live at the corner of Northwest 220th and Meridian at 4547. We moved here, so we're in our 7th year here. We're about to approach that. We have animals. We moved to the area because of we had animals. We needed the property for them. We wanted a good school district. My husband is a physician at OU. He also needed to be able to get to work within a certain time frame as needed. That's interesting what you say about more and more people needing to move to the area and not wanting the city to annex parts and do with it what they will. And I do realize that I think fairly soon you are going to be redoing the master plan for the area, correct?
That's correct.
So that is something at that point that I think could be looked at as a whole. However, for our particular area, the way that they have set this up, I don't believe that that is going to best serve our community. First of all, with that little commercial plot. The way that they have it set up now, it is just an isolated little thing there. We already have very close to us places where they are trying to build up commercial area, like down MacArthur. And I know, for example, like some of those buildings have been there since the 1920s, like the feed store there. So that has been a commercial area for quite a while now. However, the way that that has been set up, there is still quite a bit of empty retail space there. So they built that and it's still sitting there empty, which I think tells you right there that we don't have a need for another little strip to be put in. And I honestly, as a personal opinion, that area has already missed the mark on creating a vibrant, community for the locals area. It's not set up in a way that invites people to come, have dinner, walk around, shop as a destination area. And so having this little spot commercial area is, I mean, only someone's going to go there who specifically needs to go to a certain shop there. I understand that Dr. Perez likes the idea of commercial because that is a way to increase our tax base without having to spend any money on the students that are within there. However, I wouldn't say that he was a vocal proponent of that particular. He just, I mean, and he even said that it would be a bit of a wash for them because of all of the families that would then be coming into the area. So that is my vote against it. And from a personal perspective, because I'm right there on that corner, we know that there's going to be homes built there. We don't own that property. We don't own the view. But looking out on homes is going to be different than looking out on a parking lot with a strip, with a bank, with another storage unit. Again, we don't need another storage unit. There are storage units popping up all over the place. I think 2 are ready to be built down by the Dollar General, which again is just several miles south of us. That would completely ruin our enjoyment of our property. Second, all of those homes in that area, the public sewage company has already said that is not sustainable for them. And I'm honestly kind of surprised about the water as well, because I know that some locals are having issues with their own wells because of the water supply within that area. So, and I realize that Deer Creek Water purchases from Oklahoma City. However, eventually we do have to think about the environmental impact of that. I mean, and these are going to be large homes. He said the recommended size was 2,500 to 3,500. My home is 2,700, and that's on 5 acres. So to have these, and I know it averages out to 1.2, but these are mostly half-acre plots with aerobic sewage system. So I realize that they have worked with an engineer. However, I know from people who have these types of systems that they can smell, that they spray the yard, which I understand it is technically considered safe, but you have 186 homes there using that same system. And I know as a mother, I wouldn't want to have small children playing in a yard where it really is mostly where the septic is going to be. It is currently listed as R2, which again is not very rural in my humble opinion, but it would still allow for the creation of a nice neighborhood. There's still going to be plenty of room. I believe that Dr. Perez said that there's already like 20 neighborhoods that are being built within our school district at this time. We know that that is going to be developed eventually. Currently within the master plan, that is set up as R2 to maintain the rural feel of our community, which is why all of us have purchased, especially some of our neighbors who were one of the first. There are covenants with our properties to maintain them as 5-acre minimum properties. I realize that it's listed as R2. However, to me, that shows that we have moved away from this idea of this part of Deer Creek being a rural feeling area. Thank you so much. Again, please take into consideration, we have unanimously voted amongst our neighbors. We have spoken out against this, as well as along with Bellagio. We collected quite a few signatures with the original one. So thank you so much for your time. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Okay, Mr. Gary Harris.
Good morning. My name's Gary Harris, 5161 Northwest 220th. I'm here with my wife. We've lived out there for 20 years. When we moved in out there, it was an extremely rural setting. We were scared to go out there because it was the end of the world. But we had lived in Oklahoma City all of our lives, and we had a neighbor 10 feet over here and 10 feet over here. When you go out on your patio, you can take 10 steps and you can hear the conversation on the next patio. So we know what it's like to live in a congested community. And that's North Oklahoma City, and that's Edmond. But we came out here 20 years ago. We knew what we were getting into. It was an 80-acre property. Everybody had 10 acres. Everybody had 3 sprinkler heads for their septic system. And now we're considering this square mile, that's Coffee Creek, Covell, Meridian, and MacArthur. In that from that square mile, there's about 275 houses. There's 4 schools within that square mile. We're building another school, so there'll be 5. Deer Creek owns the corner at MacArthur and 220. They may build a school in. It's not certain what they're going to do with the property. But out there's a lot of floodplain. If Deer Creek owns some property, more than likely they're going to build a school. So now we're going to have 6 schools and 1 square mile. And now we're considering 180 more houses in that area. And she was very correct, 180 houses. And they say they're going to put large square footages. Well, that means more sprinkler heads. You're probably going to have at least 3 per house. So whatever that number is, 180 times 3, and it's a low area. So you're creating a waste swamp, really. You know, there's times when I go out in my yard and my neighbors have not put chlorine tablets in their septic, and I do it too. It's the stench of urine in the air. It's just terrible. So we have a roundabout on Covell. We have 2 of them. If we develop that and create more traffic, we're going to have 2 roundabouts on Coffee Creek. You know, 4 straights and 4 corners is nothing more than a racetrack. You know, I have to make an appointment to go out to get my mail because of so much traffic. There are times when I cannot get out of my driveway because I live right across from Rose Union. The traffic is so bad. And now we're going to create more congestion in that area. I just hope that you take in consideration those that have had vested interest in that community for 20 or 30 years, that you not destroy their lifestyle simply because a developer and a builder can come in, make an investment, make a lot of money, and leave. I don't think they're going to live in this community. Who would want to live behind a bank that has lighting all night, or a storage unit, or a commercial property? If you're going to put commercial, put it on Portland, put it on MacArthur. Don't put it right in front of people who've been out there for 20 years just to destroy their lifestyle. And I'd appreciate if you would consider rejecting this request. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
I think you have one more gentleman that'd like to speak. He did not fill out a form.
Next we have Mr. Michael Washington. Please remember your 3-minute time limit.
Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank y'all. You have to listen to these wonderful people here. They don't want a man or a company or anyone else because they have money to move in and disrupt the way they have lived their lives out. You cannot allow money to overtake personal peace of mind, stability, and unionship among that community. They, when they brought the properties, were well within their rights to think that they're going to live their life to the manner in which appropriately they think it's going to be accessible to them doing. And it should not be disrupted because a person has money and wants to develop. There are many other places that they can put places. Why do we do things like this here? You go out and survey properties. You survey who's doing this, the most likely who's going to do that. You just can't just disrupt people's lives because people have a one person based upon a community of people who's been out with their septic tanks and all these things he was talking about, who want to come out now and then. They're going to have possibly people coming in now disrupting their lives with all kind of crime and different things like that because who knows who's going to move in. Now, come on, let's keep it real. Why fix something that doesn't need fixed? When there are plenty of properties for these people to develop. Let me tell y'all, Mike, I know I don't have much time. You know I love talking. Let me tell y'all something like this here. I am one who believe in capitalism. Okay? That's how we generate our taxes. We understand. But at the same time, you can't just say, okay, to hell with everybody else. No disrespect to anyone. I like to use a harsh word every now and then. You have to think about children, neighborhoods. And like this gentleman just spoke about, you got 5 schools already there in the neighborhood. A 6th one. Look at the mindset. It seems like there's a plot going on somewhere, not just with them, but with the school district and others. Huh? So that means if you're talking about more schools and more children, that means more families. They're talking about. You already understand that. Let's talk about this, Harry. Go ahead and do this, Harry. We need to build our school, Harry. So go ahead and get this, put these houses in here. Because otherwise, creating additional schools. Wow. What a great plot that is. Now then. So we should put off, for the time being, put it off. Study a little bit further. You already said, the lady said, they got the community together. Oh, no. Miss us on this score. With 17 seconds left, thank all of y'all for allowing me to speak today. Again, I don't know these wonderful people, but an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And Michael comes in to speak when time permits. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, sir. Was there someone else that wanted to speak that didn't get a chance to sign up? Okay. Just make sure you fill out a form after you speak.
Morning. I'm James Clyburn. I live at 5009 Northwest 220th Street. So I'm kind of cat a corner from the school, across from the property. So I'll be brief. We've already kind of covered all the different topics that I have concerns about. So, the area out there has definitely grown. So the concerns I have with this development is not that we're putting in more homes and bringing in families. It's the amount of people and the amount of stress that we already have in the area. Like Gary was talking about, there's days where I can't even get out of my driveway, because the school's so backed up. It wasn't like that prior to COVID, but parents now, they bring all their kids to school. Nobody rides the bus. We don't have enough bus drivers to take the kids home. That's part of it. So kids are sitting on the bus for an hour and a half or whatever, trying to get home in the afternoons. So with the restraints that we already have and the stress we have in the area, putting in, I'm not saying that we shouldn't put a neighborhood there, but that many homes is going to add a tremendous amount more stress to that area. I am concerned about the septic system. When we built our house, we had the state, or the county come out and test the soil to see the absorption rate, right? Basically, there's no absorption rate. That's why we have to do the sprinkler systems so that, it dries. And so when you start talking about this many people with that type of system, I mean, that's pretty concerning, what that could be like, because not everybody takes care of their septic systems. So when that south wind blows, we already get smell from the sewer plant that's on Portland, when it comes that way. I know Villaggio gets that as well, so those are some of the concerns. We do have a nice community out there. Deer Creek is, as far as the commercial property, I understand that. We want to try to have taxes for our school system, for the area. Although, like it was mentioned before, we have several places that have tried this and they cannot rent these places out. Like, people do not want to do their shopping and their banking and all these things that we're talking about in that area. Plus, we're leaving it open a little bit to what type of businesses would be there, the type of people would be drawing in, the amount of traffic we might have there, on top of all the school traffic we already have in the area. So that's, another concern for me as well. But, the property values that we have out there have been good. If we put in these smaller homes, bring in, I mean, let's, like I said earlier, let's just be real. We don't know what type of people are going to move into that neighborhood. And so you end up in, with these smaller homes and there's more crime or things like that that are going on in the neighborhood. It's going to drive our property values down. Right now our property values have been going up and we've been paying a lot of taxes. So with the property taxes that we're paying already in that area, we should have a voice on what's going to happen in that area surrounding us. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Box, did you have anything else? Anyone else wanted to speak?
So just some quick questions about the development here.
Sure.
If I remember right, DEQ has to certify how you do the sewage. Is that correct? What's the minimum for the aeration?
Half acre is the state reg under ODEQ, and it's not only certified, but you have to pull a permit with ODEQ. This developer has experience with these types of products, and what he does is he actually mandates that the HOA is the one that is in control of ensuring compliance with state regs. So unlike most developments where they just leave it to the homeowner to make sure that they're responsible for it, here he has a company that he contracts with to make sure that it's serviced, and he has HOA funds that he's drawing from to ensure compliance with state regs.
Okay, so the school thing is nothing on this development. I'm going to contact Mr. Perez about this after this meeting and see if we can find a solution so you guys can get out of your driveway. It sounds like during school time, you guys can't get out of your driveway. That's an issue, not only for you guys that live there, that's also an emergency management services issue. So I'm going to work with the school to rectify that problem, and that's probably a turn lane or something of the sort for the school. So look for that coming. But okay, even better. We can extend that. No problem. Yeah, we can work with the schools to make that work. So I mean that is an emergency management issue, and that's something that I stress pretty often with Chief Beagles out there. We have to, because we have a station right there. We have to be able to move around, and if we're not able to move around during certain hours, we have a problem. So we're going to solve that. The commercial corner, they're talking about storage units. Is that even
That's a permitted use.
right? So what?
So this will be, this is going to be a market-driven commercial development. It's unlikely that we go build spec. So whatever the market demands is what will end up being put there. We tried to be intentional in the uses that we included to be low impact. Personal storage perhaps is the least impactful commercial development you can have because for the most part, people write the check, they put their stuff in, and then with any luck, if you're the developer, they never come again. So they're very low impact. And if I could briefly, the last speaker, I think that's kind of the undertone of this protest. The idea that the type of person that's going to come here is going to bring crime. The type of person that wants to come here is a family with kids. So this is what this is going to attract are families, not criminals. Families that desire to live in a good school district, which I think is something that we should all applaud.
Yeah, that's the blessing and the curse about Deer Creek schools. And it's certainly a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing to those that are in the schools now because they're great schools, but it's also a curse to those that live out there because everybody wants to come to those great schools. Edmond is seeing it as well in the eastern part of their city development. So without getting on too much of a soapbox about education, we have a great education system in Deer Creek. We have great leadership. We have great parental involvement. It's a really good thing out there, and that's why people want to live out there. My biggest concern on the commercial development is dispensaries or grows, right? And I mean
We can prohibit them.
Okay, that's one that I've always that one freaks me out.
Yeah, we can, if the commission's so inclined, any vote could be conditioned upon the PUD prohibiting all marijuana-related uses.
Okay. If anybody else has any other questions,
And I understand that you all submitted this previously with smaller lots, had necessary discussions with the school district and others, and changed your application to sort of meet the needs a little bit better. Okay.
yeah, and like I said, I met with Perez and a bunch. It was 40+ people, business leaders. Everybody lived in Deer Creek. I did a quick survey of people that lived on smaller than 2-acre lots, which was over half the people that were there. And I think it's clearly coming. And if I remember right, what were the size of the houses?
2,500 to 3,500 is kind of the typical
Yeah.
range we expect.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size house. With that, I mean, if nobody's got any other questions, with the agreement that there will be no marijuana related services, I'll make the motion to approve.
You have any other questions? Okay. I'll second. Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we will go back to the beginning of our docket, or near the beginning. Item number 10 is approval to hang flyers for our June warrant clearing event on June 8th. This is taking place on a Saturday. This is our first Saturday event. Our previous warrant clearing event, for those of you that were there, was extremely successful. We helped almost 500 people clear their warrant and avoid jail. So these events are working really, really well. A lot of our judges are very involved. Diversion Hub is involved, our PD's office, our court clerk. So this is just an approval to hang flyers for our next event. And I will move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wasn't our last one? Was the last one in South Oklahoma City?
The last event was at Latino Community Development Agency. It was a Friday. This one is going to be at the Diversion Hub at Northwest 10th and Robinson on a Saturday. And I think they're going to have food and music and make it fun. So. Okay, District 2, item 11.
Yes, Commissioner, discussion and possible action to recognize May 5th through the 11th of 2024 as Oklahoma County Home and Community Education Week. I do know we have some representatives that would like to come up and be recognized. I'd like to ask Gayla Mosteller. She is the president of OHCE to the podium to say a couple words, and then I will read the resolution.
Thank you for recognizing OHCE, is what we call it, but it does stand for Oklahoma Home and Community Education. We are an organization that have over 5,000 members throughout the state. We do, in your proclamation, you'll be talking about some of the things that we do, but we do, if you have grandmothers and things like that, we're the old home demonstration. So when we talk about home demonstration, then, everybody thinks, oh, my grandmother used to do that. My mother, was that. I'm a 4th generation of OHCE. So, got any questions about?
No, I think it's great, Gayla. Thank you for being here today. And I will go ahead and read the resolution. It says, whereas this organization began in 1910 and their goal was to teach farm women in rural America better methods for getting their work done in areas such as gardening, canning, nutrition, and sewing, and to encourage them to improve their families' living conditions. And whereas during this time, clubs also took on other education and charitable roles. Some clubs worked together to raise money to help improve their communities. Many women enjoyed leadership opportunities. And whereas 114 years later, the Oklahoma County OHCE members are still serving their community. In 2023, they donated around 22,000 hours of service to organizations such as the Oklahoma Veterans Medical Center, Literacy Link, Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, Mid-Dale Food Pantry, and the Oklahoma Mental Health Association. And whereas Oklahoma County OHCE recognizes their great responsibility towards Oklahoma families and continue to safeguard the primary ideals of family life. Whereas Oklahoma County OHCE taught educational workshops about the history of women's voting rights, cybersecurity awareness, barn quilt painting, and the importance of healthy sleep. Whereas Oklahoma County OHCE provides a healthy outlet for its 8 groups and over 90 members to reach out to others in their communities through personal service and education. And now, therefore, let it be resolved that Oklahoma County, Oklahoma Home and Community Education asks the Oklahoma County Commissioners to proclaim May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as Oklahoma Home and Community Education Week. Thank you. Right. And if there's no discussion, I will motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve May 5th through 11th as Oklahoma County Home and Community Education Week. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Do
Do we want a picture?
Yeah.
Guys mind? Thank you.
I think the
Just so I can take a picture. Thank you.
and item 12.
Discussion and possible action regarding accepting the resignation. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You're correct.
Okay. Larry Stevens from the Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Board, effective April 20th. And his letter of resignation was attached for your review.
Former city manager of Edmond took a new job and
Yeah.
sure.
We appreciate Larry's service on this committee. I know he was a very valuable person that gave quite a bit of input. So we're grateful for his service, but disappointed to see him step down.
Absolutely.
Gets to go to retirement in Missouri,
Yeah.
back to the home state.
Yeah.
So, motion to accept.
Second?
Okay, there's a motion and a second to accept his resignation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is this one of the at-large? This is an at-large seat, right? I think.
I believe that is correct. And then item 13, I believe, is Commissioner Mon's personal appointment.
Yes, yes. Discussion and possible action regarding accepting the resignation of Pat McCoy from the Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Board, effective May 1st. Another loss.
I'll move to accept. Okay, there's a motion and a second to accept Pat McCoy's resignation. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Mr. McCoy, is he the one that lives in Arizona now?
And item 14.
Yes, discussion and possible action regarding the resolution to recognize May as National Treatment Court Month. And I believe we might have some people here that might want to come up and say a few words. Anybody would like to come up? And then I will read the resolution.
Oh, let's move our,
Yeah.
oh, thank you, sir. Thank
It's
you.
heavier than it looks.
Hi, my name is Michael Holder. I am a graduate of Oklahoma County Treatment Courts. I spent 26 years in addiction, and the treatment courts saved my life. I'm now a member of the court-ordered outpatient treatment program and at Diversion Hub. I work at Diversion Hub, and I was on a path to death or prison. And I just want to thank my commissioners for y'all's part in the treatment courts and thank the treatment court people for saving my life.
And tell us your position again?
Court-ordered outpatient recovery navigator.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Hi, Kelly Basie, Assistant District Attorney. I thank you all so much for your support this year. There's been so much that we've done, so much that we can do. We started this in the 90s, and it's evolved into a really important part and piece of our community. It's a really important part of our criminal justice. It's one of the things that I'm so proud of, and there's so many people behind me in this room that make it happen. And there are so many people in this room that have benefited from it, but not just people behind me, all of us, everyone in front of me and everyone who's watching on TV. It's kind of a one question IQ test. Is this a good idea? When we look at the results and we get our stats from Department of Corrections about what our recidivism rate is. So the recidivism rate in all 8 courts in Oklahoma County is less than 9% in 3 years after utilizing a program. DOC's same statistics, and I'm not beating up on DOC, but it's just a fact that they have a 25% recidivism rate if we send the same person to prison. That's one part. What goes along with that success rate is a healthier family, a better employment base for the community, a safer community, better children that have better parents, better role models. But we all have better role models. I am encouraged every single day by their success because I think, but for the grace of God. And then I also think, I don't know if I could do that. These are amazing people doing amazing things. They're heroic. And I watch them and it really builds me up into a better person too. That's half of it. The other half is the money. So if we look at how much it costs to incarcerate someone, we're in the area of $27,000 a year. When we look at how much it costs for diversion programs, it's about $7,000 a year. So there's your one question IQ test. But I want to thank you all so much for your support, and this is a fun day for us. Thank you.
That's wonderful. It's certainly our pleasure.
And I will add that I had Judge Stoner, you're welcome to come up while I talk. I had Judge Stoner speak on a national call for the National Association of Counties about Oklahoma County's treatment courts. And, he was his wonderful self. He spoke for maybe 15 minutes and he had to jump off the call. And like 10 people got on the call and raised their hand and said, can we have him come speak at our national conference? Can we have him come talk about Oklahoma County treatment courts at our next event? So I think word is getting out that the way our treatment courts work here in Oklahoma County really do work. And they help people and they keep folks out of prison and out of jail and get people back to a healthy life. So I'm very happy to be celebrating you all today. So go ahead, sir.
My name is Jason. Like my friend was saying, I grew up in the streets and saw in and out of prison. What Kelly was saying, I did 4 different times in prison, and it was getting worse and worse. It wasn't helping me going to prison, and I didn't know that it was a mental issue that I was dealing with as well, that was being overlooked. And I didn't know that. And it really wasn't even nothing to help me find that part out about me. And so Dreams Court saved my life. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank y'all for giving us a voice finally to help other people that are in the same position that we were in, that we can now sit and say, hey, you can do that. You can do it. It's people that believe in you because we got people that believed in us. So we just want to say thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Okay, I will go ahead and read the resolution recognizing May as National Treatment Court Month.
Whereas, according to All Rise, treatment courts are the most successful intervention for leading people with substance use and mental health disorders out of the justice system and live into lives of recovery, stability, and health. And whereas treatment courts have transformed the way the justice system responds to people with substance use and mental health disorders by combining accountability with evidence-based treatment. And whereas the Oklahoma County Treatment Courts currently serve approximately 649 individuals, referring them to life-saving treatment and recovery support services. And whereas Oklahoma County Treatment Courts have graduated 1,580 individuals, providing an alternative to serving more than 11,060 years in prison. And whereas Oklahoma County Treatment Courts save Oklahoma County an average of $19,000 per year for every individual they serve. And whereas, according to All Rise, treatment courts significantly improve substance use disorder treatment outcomes, substantially reduce addiction and related crime, and do so at less expense than any other justice strategy. And whereas treatment courts improve education, employment, housing, and financial stability, promote family reunification, reduce foster care placements, and whereas treatment courts facilitate community-wide partnerships bringing together public safety and public health, and whereas treatment courts demonstrate that when one person rises, we all rise. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Oklahoma County hereby proclaims that Treatment Court Month be established during the month of May. And I will go ahead and make that motion.
I will second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. And actually, before I call the vote,
Could you raise your hand if you currently work for any of our treatment courts?
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, how cool. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I think we will probably want to do a picture.
Absolutely.
Big picture.
Not my usual assigned seat.
I know.
Thank you, David.
Fall Planning Commission done.
Okay, item number 15.
Yes, discussion and possible action regarding of the appointment of Heather Gardner to the Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Board. We have attached her resume for her review, for your review. We think this will be a
Go ahead.
great addition. Yes.
Which spot?
Um,
To replace Mr. Stevens or Mr. McCoy?
Commissioner Mon's appointment, so then that would be Mr. McCoy.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I spoke with Heather yesterday, and she asked a lot of really good questions, questions that a member of the advisory board should be asking.
Oh, good. Very
So I was pretty happy with that, and I'm happy that she's wanting to be helpful.
Very good. Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff.
All right, I will go ahead and motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve Ms. Heather Gardner to the Citizen Bond Oversight Advisory Board. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have already done items 16 through 19. So now we move on to Commissioner Commons, District 2.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
District 3.
Thanks for being here. Also this week is National Corrections Week. There are a lot of items, so a lot of things going on at the jail for employee appreciation this week.
Nice.
So if you guys haven't heard, please get in touch with Brandy. They're serving lunches and doing
She's
special
doing
things.
some great things.
And she's doing great over there. She's just got the largest class that they've had under
They
the
just
trust.
started this week.
47 people.
Mhm.
That's huge. You know how our numbers are. So 47 individuals coming to work would be a drastic change over there and a much needed one. The culture's changed. She's done an incredible job over there. And then hopefully everybody is in the process or has met with HOK this week, and we can get our update there and we can move forward. So other than that,
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
so
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to return from executive session.
Second.
Motion to return, motion second to return. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, item number 22.
Let's see, motion to reject the offer from the Stevenson estate.
I'll second. Okay, there's a motion and a second to reject the settlement offer by the estate of Parker Stevens BOCC. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 23.
Item 23 would be a motion to vacate subject to any unpaid taxes, property taxes.
I'll second. Okay, there's a motion and a second to vacate. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Mm-hmm. 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 And they're doing Spencer is also investing, improving a lot of the public parks. Yeah. Well, I think you can stay now. Right. I think PBA, we changed it a couple months ago. I think you can stay. I think I'm in the wrong one. Okay, we will call this meeting of the Public Buildings Authority to order. Roll call. I'm Commissioner Carrie Bloomer. We have Commissioner Miles Davidson. And Brandy, I am blanking on your last name.
Brandy Martin.
Brandy Martins is sitting for Commissioner Mon. I apologize for that.
Worries.
Notice of this meeting was properly posted on May 7th, 2024. Item number 1, approval of our minutes from our May 1st meeting.
Sorry, motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 2 are claims.
Motion to approve claims.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Mr. Monroe, item 3.
Good morning. Item 3 is for discussion and possible action to allow the Major Taylor Cycling Club of Oklahoma City to assemble and use the parking lot at the Lincoln property on June 29th from 7 to 12. And they've included their copy of insurance.
I am familiar with this bike club. They're very active.
Do you ride with them often?
I've never ridden with them. I've just seen them at events and talked with their members.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Keith.
I've got a bike you can use.
I have one of those cruiser bikes. They probably wouldn't let me into their club. I don't believe there are citizens to speak because I don't see any. Okay. Any other board comments? Seeing none, is there any new business?
Motion
Also
to
seeing
adjourn.
none, is there a motion to adjourn? I will second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.